The Nissan Micra K14 generation was offered with 5 or 6-speed manual transmissions and also a CVT. There was no K14 Micra with a conventional automatic transmission. The manual gearboxes seem to be pretty solid and they don't have a lot of issues, but the CVT is way more questionable. The 2016-2025 Micra used the same type of CVT transmission that the K13 generation. This is the Jatco CVT with the code JF015E that has also been used in Nissan Note, Qashqai, Juke, a couple of Mitsubishi vehicles, a bunch of small Renault and Dacia cars in Europe, and also Chevy Spark. So we have enough information to outline the common problems with these transmissions. You may know that CVTs usually have one single gear, so they don't shift. And this is the main problem because in a lot of cases the belt or the chain in these transmissions is located on the edge of the pulleys, and this often causes premature wear. So in this GF015E transmission, Jatco decided to implement 2 forward gears and try to solve this problem. Eventually, the transmission became even less reliable because of this 2-gear design, and it requires frequent fluid change to take the car at least to 150,000 kilometers. The good news is that in 2015 the CVT was updated, and this update was really good for durability. So the K13 generation got the older type of the transmission and will show more problems, while the K14 generation got the updated CVT with the majority of the problems solved by the manufacturer. The most important problem is that even with proper servicing, the pulleys and the belt will get worn out at about 150,000 kilometers or 90,000 miles, making it not financially wise to rebuild the unit. Prior to 2015 model year, there were huge problems with the planetary gear mechanism since it had low quality welding. But during the update in 2015, this problem was eliminated by Jatco. One of the well-known problems is the worn-out shaft bearings on both shafts. This leads to howling noises when driving and costs a fortune to fix. Unfortunately, the updated bearings in 2015 didn't change the situation. The valve body is known to be faulty, but this usually happens in cars that aren't serviced well, since contaminated fluid leads to valves and solenoids getting stuck, and you will feel certain jerking or rough running problems during acceleration. These transmissions are quite hard to service well. First of all, the fluid should be changed once every 40-50,000 kilometers, along with both filters. This requires oil pan removal and about 7 liters of fluid, so both parts and labor will cost you pretty much. If you change the fluid without dropping the oil pan, you will need about 4 liters of fluid, and you won't be able to replace 2 filters, so this makes no sense and doesn't actually help you prolong the life of the transmission. To avoid doing this annoying job, a lot of mechanics just tell customers that there are no replaceable filters in these transmissions, but it's just not true. Without changing these 2 filters, it's impossible to take this transmission even to 150,000 kilometer milestone. Also, Nissan marketed these small CVT transmissions as fuel-efficient alternative to manual gearboxes, but in reality, they tend to add about 15% of fuel consumption in comparison with manual options, so they cost a little fortune to own. The only good thing is that these CVT transmissions are pretty pleasant to drive. They allow you to get advantages of the engine power and make the acceleration smooth, but when it comes to service or repair, it's a nightmare. As far as I know, the 2026 Micra is only planned to be an EV based on Renault platform for small electric vehicles, and it will finally get rid of the CVT.